Each year, as part of the Bikepacking.com Gear of the Year Awards, the editorial team here at Bikepacking.com highlights the best bikes that we tested within the calendar year 2025. And in this video, well, I'm just going to share the results with you. All right, let's have some fun. All right, so over the years, if there's one thing that I have learned, it's that testing bikes is probably the most incredible privilege of all. So going back to the root of why I ride, I find that it gives me freedom more than anything, right? It's that simple escape from the daily grind. But I also know that these bikes, these are tools of the trade, tools that help you kind of ride from one campsite to the next, tools that need to be reliable and able to carry gear that you need, maybe for an overnighter or a month-long trip, right? And that is how these bikes are tested, at least for the most part. They are ridden hard on day rides, taken out for overnighters or even longer trips, and put through real-world use, not just pedaled once or twice. After all, it is the least that we can do to help kind of share what some big and small brands have to offer, and to highlight the time and energy and, of course, knowledge that go into making a bicycle. Now, yes, each bike has a certain use case, a different use case, but that is the beauty of, the freedom that I find in riding. It can happen on rugged single track, smooth gravel roads, and of course, everything in between. So here are the top 6 bikes voted on by us, the editors here at Bikepacking.com, followed by the 4 collective choice winners, where Bikepacking.com collective members get to vote on the top bikes that we all reviewed this year. I should note that some of these bikes, they may not be new or just recently launched, but they made this list because they were tested and reviewed in or within 2025 or just after the 2024 awards. So yeah, before we do get into the results here though, I do want to mention that this video is supported in part by Coros, the brand behind the Coros Dura Solar GPS bike computer. So the Dura is a head unit that you might have seen in some of our videos, and for good reason. It offers an impressive 120 hours of battery life on just one charge. In fact, I only had to charge mine once over a 6-month period. And if that wasn't enough, it features highly efficient solar panels on top, which make a noticeable difference in sunny conditions. So with simple controls and intuitive navigation, it certainly is perfect for bike packing or day rides of any length. So to learn a little bit more about this award-winning head unit, you can click on the card in the top right corner here, or else follow the link in the description below. All right, so as a note, all of these bikes have associated reviews, and those can be found in the description below next to the timestamp. And if you don't see a bike that you think you might want to see on this list or thought you would see on this list, be sure to check past awards, which will be linked below. All right, so first up, the Hudski Dualist. It was teased, a bunch last year, but Miles finally got his hands on one and came away extremely impressed. So building on their popular Dogler, the Dualist is a rigid alloy 29er flat bar ATB that strikes a nice balance between approachable gravel and light-duty mountain bike. It's got a long wheelbase, modern mountain bike specs, big tire clearance, and a smart build that helps hit that sweet spot. So Miles noted that it will not replace a hardtail or full suspension bike on rugged trails. Still, as a fast, versatile ATB that is simply fun to ride, it's a standout, especially at such an approachable price. All right, so next up was the Trek Checkout. Yeah, it's not often that we see a bike like this launch, let alone one clearly dedicated to bike packing. But leave it to Trek to roll out a carbon, short travel, full suspension gravel bike with a dedicated rack, handlebars, and some pretty unique geometry. So both Miles and I spent some time on it this fall, and we came away impressed with its comfort, capability, and overall attention to detail. So not everything was perfect on it. The rear rack was certainly a headache for me, and the price will be a limiting factor. But if you want to take the edge off without actually going full mountain bike, it's certainly worth a close look. So Nick tested and reviewed the Velo Orange Chessie this year, and thought highly of this modern aluminum gravel frame paired with a steel fork. So it's loaded with mounts for racks and fenders. It features sliding dropouts, has massive tire clearance, and brings comfortable, capable geometry well suited for multi-day trips or daily commuting. Now, Nick mentions it's certainly not a record setter, but as a do-it-all frame set that can be built however you want, it certainly offers an excellent starting point for creating a custom adventure rig, all for $950 USD for the frame. Another bike that I piloted earlier this year, the Salsa Spearfish. It might be the most inspiring XC style bike that I've pedaled to date. Now in its 4th generation, this progressive carbon full suspension 29er won us over with confident descending without sacrificing the bike's hallmark pedaling efficiency. So I liked it so much that I ended up actually signing up for a day race and did surprisingly well considering my fitness level at the time. But in all honesty here, it made this list because it would be my top choice for, say, the Colorado or Arizona trails, or anyone looking for a bike to kind of tackle a single track bike packing experience, as it comes with big frame space for bottles and bags, thoughtful adventure touches, and geometry ready for very long days in the saddle. All right, so on the flip side of things, well, the Reeb Sam's Pants really stood out as the top gravel bike that I pedaled this year. And it might actually be the best riding steel drop bar rig that I've tested to date. Thoughtful modern geometry and 2.2-inch tire clearance delivers stability and comfort without dulling efficiency. The Zona steel tube set feels really lively yet noticeably compliant on, say, washboards and chunk, but has an efficiency that I love when I'm hammering down on, say, smooth 2-track or gravel roads. So I really think Reeb absolutely nailed their re-entry into the gravel world with the new Sam's Pants. So finally, well, this year's top honors went to the Neuhaus Hummingbird, which Logan ended up testing this year. So hardtails are a staple in the bike packing space, but Logan's thoughts speak volumes here. He noted that it is light, quick, and surprisingly capable when the trail gets rough. It hits a sweet spot between approachability and performance, more versatile than, say, super aggressive hardtails, yet confident on sketchy terrain. So the result is a do-it-all mountain bike that flatters newer riders and satisfies seasoned ones with lively handling, broad capability, and a design that should age well. Easily one of the best 120mm hardtails that we have come across. Now, onto the 4 collective choice bikes where we open up voting to our members. They literally pick each bike and vote on them, and these are the results. First off, members were really excited about the Stooge MK7. So Logan has been, let's just say he's been on a roll of testing Stooge bikes. This is actually his 4th frame in, I don't know, a matter of 3 years or something like that. But while he jokes it is because he's old and set in his ways, the truth is these bikes just make a lot of sense. So the MK7 isn't actually a radical departure from the MK6, but a thoughtful evolution. So it's more friendly for taller riders, more capable for bike packing, and just as fun and playful as before, with slightly tweaked geometry, expanded sizing, and a new fork that adds both capability and character. It's the most complete Stooge yet. All right, so on to the Surly Straggler. So after a decade, Surly's cult classic do-everything drop bar mountain bike, it finally got a proper refresh. So I put a bunch of miles on it this summer from daily rides and commuting, a bit of dirt touring, and plenty of chunky and smooth gravel, and came away thoroughly impressed. So Surly updated the geometry, added new axle standards, revised sizing, and introduced a new fork, all while keeping that kind of surly, weird in a way charm intact. So the Straggler remains an excellent commuter and a great all-road rig, and it certainly deserved a spot in our awards. All right, so along with Trek, Canyon went all in on the bike packing theme this year as well. Beyond the updates to the standard Grizl, they actually launched the Grizl Escape ECLIPS model, which comes with proprietary front and rear racks, an integrated frame bag, and a complete dynamo system, which includes a dynamo hub, charging unit, and a light. So Canyon essentially built the bike that many riders have been cobbling together custom for years, but now it's available as a complete, ready-to-roll package. All right, so finally, the top voted bike from the collective members was the Fairlight Secan 3.0. So it's a utility-focused drop bar adventure bike built to handle a load from touring to light single track with confidence. The latest version brings cleaner routing, more tire clearance, and geometry tweaks that result in what Nick describes as a sublimely balanced ride. It's one of the most thoughtfully executed modern steel drop bar frames available today. All right, so each year we have a bike or a bike style that we really look forward to testing in the next year. And while we get a lot of bikes that we can't speak about, the latest and greatest isn't always, well, the priority. So we can share a bit of what we are excited about for 2026. So Lucas says he is really excited about the Brother Pinecone frame, a retro-inspired rig built around 27.5-inch wheels and compatible with either disc or rim brakes. It captures the charm of old ATBs while updating key kind of frame specs to fit some of the pitfalls from back in the day. So Miles says that he's super eager to get his hands on those mid or long tail style bikes, something like the Bomb Track Beyond. Those styles of bikes offer big cargo capacity, room for extra gear, and plenty of off-road capability for rougher terrain. Logan mentions that he is really excited about testing out the Neuhaus Solstice. So no surprise there. It's an aggressive steel hardtail, certainly right up his alley. He's also toying with the idea of a custom bike for some future dog packing trips. Pretty exciting there. All right, so Nick mentions he actually is really eager to get on a few bikes next year. He's actually already testing some updated models that he can't quite talk about yet, but he's especially excited to check out more adventure-ready drop bar bikes, both new and old. And finally, I'm actually really excited to get on some more fewer drop bar bikes, more flat bar bikes in 2026. It was an interesting year with zero regrets, but I didn't ride nearly as much single track as I hoped to or usually do. I like to change that up in 2026, but of course, more on that in my year-end recap and predictions video, which will be published sometime around New Year's. Anyways, what bikes were you excited about this year or eager to maybe learn more about? Let us know in the comment section below. Kind of a follow-up to this video, next week I'm going to publish our Gear of the Year video, which basically kind of highlights more or less the gear that I tested that made Gear of the Year awards. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw in this video and want to see more like it, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And if you want to help support this YouTube channel, everything we're doing at Bikepacking.com, you can do so by joining the Bikepacking Collective. So the Collective offers a lot of awesome perks. Obviously, Collective members get to vote on the Collective Choice Awards, which is exciting. But you also have industry discounts, monthly giveaways, the all-new base camp, and the Bikepacking Journal. So to learn a little bit more about the Collective, you can click on the card in the top right corner, or else follow the link in the description below. As always, thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, pedal further.